Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I am here today with Greg, Naeem, and Eris, and today we have a very good episode because we are almost done with our top 10 lists. Today we have the top 10 center backs in the world. This is based off of mostly quality, but if you want to throw in other things in there, you can. 8 people contributed with their lists. So it's us 4 that are here: Amirali, Parham, Parsa, Jasser, and Evie. But without further ado, let's get started straight to it, okay? As always, we are going to be starting off with honorable mentions, okay? So we had 3 players in with 1 point. The first player is Buongiorno. Evie is the only person that had Buongiorno in there.
So Buongiorno, I think he's a starter for both Napoli and the Italy national team. So I think that's a very good shot by Evie.
And then we're going to stick around with another Serie A man because Bremer was the second player that ended up with 1 point. And Naeem, you were the only one who had him in there.
He was like by far the best center back during the COVID times, like 2021, 2022, and before his injury, obviously. I think he's a key part in the Juve defense. So I had him 10th just because, he's class, man. I hope he'll be coming back to his best because I want him to see start for Brazil next summer.
And the final player that ended up with 1 point was Levi Colwill. I was the only one who had Levi Colwill in there. Always said this before. I really like him, honestly. I think he's a pretty good overall CB since Brighton. Even at Chelsea right now, he's been having to deal with a few different CB partnerships, and Chelsea isn't the most stable place as of right now. But I think long term, he's going to be a very, very good center back. So we're going to continue with players that ended up with 2 points. The first player is Ndika. Eris is the only one who had Ndika in his list. He had him in at 9.
What he's been able to do with Roma this season has been pretty decent. And also back in the Frankfurt days, like he's not like an out-of-worldly defender, but especially when he first got to Frankfurt, like he was a little injury prone, but he has developed into like a really, really solid starter. And literally based off the quality last season alone, I feel like he's a decent shout for the top 10.
The second player that ended up with 2 points is Murillo. The only person that had Murillo in their list is Parham. Actually been doing very well for Nottinghamforest overall.
Murillo's okay. He had a decent breakout year.
The other player that ended up with 2 points is, I don't know how this brother ended up with 2 points in Big 2025, bro, but Kim Min-jae. The only person that had Kim Min-jae in was Evie. If we did this like 3 years ago or something like that, he would be up there.
Let's be real. Kim Min-jae had one good season. He had one good season with Napoli.
That's what I'm saying.
Even for Bayern, if you think about it, last season Upamecano had to play out of his skin to like cover for him. Now they're replacing him with someone who I think we're gonna see later on in this list. So
not much to talk about that, brother.
That brother stinks.
And the final player that ended up with 2 points was Schlotterbeck. I was the only one who had Schlotterbeck in there. I mean, I'm not gonna say that I follow Dortmund every game or anything like that, but like in the UCL, their Classica or anything like that, I usually like what I see from him. Very good on the ball as well, left-footed, linked to Barca a little bit as well, so maybe there's a little bit of that bias, investing early in it. We're going to continue. Only 2 players ended up with 3 points. The interesting thing about these 2 players is they are actually a CB duo for their club. The first player is Van de Ven. Only 1 person actually had Van de Ven in their list, and that was Greg. Greg had him in at 8.
I really like Van de Ven, bro. He's one of the fastest players in the world, probably, like definitely in the Prem for sure. Good quality. Honestly, bro, like I think if he wasn't at Spurs, he'd be much higher rated. First, like by other people, it's just Spurs kind of shit at defending.
The other player, then, spoiler, Romero, basically World Cup winner. Amirali had him in at 9, and Jasser had him in at 10. Me personally, I'm not his biggest fan. I'll be honest with you. Like, I feel like he's one of those players that a lot of people either like, rate highly, or like they say he's alright. But yeah, that being said, that brother gets a lot of red cards, yellow cards as well, bro. Overall, some stupid tackles as well.
Bro, he has such a punchable face, bro. Like,
okay,
if I was a Premier League attacker and I see him on the ground, I probably would like, oops, accidental curb stomp. Like I don't know, something about him just gets me mad.
But he would do that to you probably, bro, before you even got a chance.
You sure about that?
Damn, that's crazy.
You sure about that? Romero, bro, I'm calling you right now.
Crazy.
I'm riding out for Eris right now, bro.
Let's go.
I wish you would.
Crazy. No more joints with what I see here. Yeah, but we're still in honorable mentions, okay? So this player ended up with 4 points. Only 1 person had this player in their list. That player was Hincapie. I am the only one who had Hincapie in my list. Again, I won't say that I've seen Bayern Leverkusen every game in Bundesliga, but like last year when they were doing a thing where it was never loosen, and then the UCL as well. I really like him. He's young, versatile as well. He can play like left back, big, fast. Well, he's from Ecuador, so him and another man that we will probably discuss further down the line, they form a very good CB duo. We are going to continue to a player that ended up with 5 points. And again, surprisingly, only one person had this player in their list. That was Parsa. The player is none other than Inigo Martinez. I can talk about Inigo Martinez as a Barca fan, bro, but I was a little bit surprised that he had him in there. I can't lie. Like, if I'm doing it based off a season, he had an excellent season, I'll be honest with you. He's underrated, in my opinion. He's been good for several years since he was at Sociedad Bilbao, and then when he came to Barca as well. He's not the fastest, but good positioning, very good passing as well, good leader. But I don't know if I would personally have him in a top 10 based off of pure quality, though. Yeah, low-key a sweeter man, bro. Gotta be honest, you know. Unk still got it. That brother like 35 or some shit, but
Barca PR go crazy. This man's drooling over his players.
I didn't even have him, bro, on my list. That was that.
Yeah, man's talking about he looked good, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah, of course, bro. Of course. You know, got to cover all grounds. We're going to continue with a player that ended up with 6 points. Again, only one person had this player in their list, and that was Eris. And the player is none other than Jonathan Tah. Only Eris had Tah in his list. He had him in at number 5.
Wow. Listen, I'm not saying like he's like the best in the world or anything like that, but like Jonathan Tah, like he can do a job. And Bayern wouldn't have gone out and gotten him if he couldn't. He proved he could do it with Leverkusen. I feel like he's got the quality and the talents. And I'm hoping this is going to look crazy like you guys didn't have him when he gets to Bayern. Hopefully that Upa and Tah partnership can actually do really well.
Those brothers got Eric Dyer as well, bro, and he was starting for them. So
yeah, but Eric, yeah, that's just wild, bro. Like how do you get a Spurs man to start for you? That's
crazy.
Insane.
I mean, he is a German international, bro.
I don't really like him, bro. And then last game as well for Germany, he was very, very shaky when I saw him. You never know. We'll see how he does at Bayern with company, right? We're gonna continue to a player that ended up with 8 points. Okay, the player is none other than Eder Militao. Naeem had him in at 8. Amirali had him in at 10. Parham had him in at 7.
Before that injury, I thought he was really crucial to the UCL runs, and then I think he won a title as well for La Liga for Madrid. So I think he was a mainstay in that Madrid defense before the injury. I really rated him at Porto. He was one of the like emerging like young talents. Like, you know, people said that he was gonna be the center back for Brazil, but no, just like I'm just considering Militao before the injury, not after. That's why I have him on my list.
So we are gonna go to a player that ended up with 11 points. So that player is none other than Pacho. I will let you know who had Pacho in their list. Only 2 people had Pacho in their list. So Eris had him in at 4, and Greg had him in at 7. Eris, you can take
Greg's
this.
the only one that knows ball, bro. That's crazy. What do you
come on,
mean?
bro.
Listen, that's crazy. Listen. Pacho, I'm not gonna like pretend. I know a lot of people don't watch Liga, and that's fair. But you guys have watched that Champions League run. He was absolutely crucial to like what we've done. And the thing is, he's given our other center back. I mean, we all know who it is. Like maybe he'll be on this list, maybe he won't. But Marquinhos, he's given him that confidence boost back and a proper partner. Ever since Thiago Silva had left, we haven't been able to find a proper partner for Marquinhos. And then we've seen year after year that like shaky back line, and it mainly has been either Marquinhos or at the time used to be Donnarumma also at fault for these like exits in the UCL. I know Marquinhos is our captain, but like he's given Marquinhos that like confidence boost that like I have someone solid beside me that I didn't have for 4 or 5 years when Thiago Silva had left. Insane goal line clearances, like he's physically strong. He won't get bodied off of the ball easily. And even before he came to us at Frankfurt, he was really solid. An absolutely outstanding player. And again, I don't think he's better than my top 3, but I definitely think like he's one of the main reasons like we were able to get over that like slump for the Champions League. If it was, let's say, I know Kimpembe's been injured for like 2 years, so like if it was Kimpembe partnering Marquinhos, I feel like we would have seen a lot more mistakes happening with that back line, and we probably would have crashed out somehow.
Yeah, I guess, but also Donnarumma played a big factor in that, though. Another goalie, and you never know how that ends, if we're being honest here.
That's true. But Pacho also had the goal line clearances, so...
Yeah, but top 4, bro, within, like, first year of him doing it properly, I feel like that's a bit of a stretch, but, you know, it is what it is. There could be a little bias in there.
We'll see.
Could be a little bias in there. But
yeah, I like him. I think he has a lot of potential because he's really young too, and he's a physical beast. And he's definitely the better of the 2 center backs for PSG. So you can't not have him on your list when they just won the treble.
This is our last honorable mention, boys. Okay, this player ended up with 12 points, so 1 point over Pacho, and that player is none other than Konate. Greg had him in at 10. Amirali had him in at 6. Parsa had him in at 8. Jasser also had him in at 8. The Prem mans, basically.
Kind of just snuck him in. I couldn't think of a 10th player. I was between like Bremer and a couple of other guys, but I just know Konate more, I guess. Solid center back, but nothing too crazy.
This guy said I gave him a pity point, bro. A 1-pointer.
I kind of did.
That's it, bro. This guy said, that's crazy, bro. Crazy. We are officially entering our top 10. This player ended up in 10th with 16 points. We have Dean Howson in at 10. I had Howson in at 8. Eris had Housen in at 6. Greg had him in at 6 as well. Naeem did not have him. Amirali did not have him. Parham had him in at 10. Parsa had him in at 9. Jasser did not have him. And Evie did not have him.
I feel like a lot of people that do put him on the list, outside maybe the Prem ends, I feel like it's mainly because of that Madrid move. So, you know, they're just hopping on that bandwagon. But like, you guys know me, I watched every single Bournemouth game this season. Last season, it's like when it comes to the Prem, they're my boys. He was absolutely insane for us. Now he's going to go to Madrid. Him in that line, partnering up Zabarni, has been way more defensively solid. And bro, he's a threat in the air. Like the goals he's scoring off of those corners, like he knows what he's doing. He's definitely gonna help Madrid out, especially through like those injury crises that they have. In my opinion, I think he's gonna be easily one of their 2 best center backs. I don't think he'll get like replaced out of that starting lineup.
No, I think Cousin is honestly one of the future best center backs in the world. Like I see him being a top 3 center back in the world in the future. Like he's 6'6", is able to use both feet, comfortable passing, you know, aerial threat. Yeah, he had a solid game against Arsenal too as well. I remember that game. He ruined us. Baller.
Very, very good CB, bro. Like elite ball playing, you know, both feet, like you said. I would have had him higher, but I still think he needs to improve a little bit on the defensive side of things. Like I feel like he'll be out of positions at certain times with what I've seen, like for Bournemouth and Spain as well in the recent games. But other than that, yeah, he's probably one of the best young center backs in the world. I was a little bit jealous that Madrid ended up getting him. If I'm being honest with you, this is a side note, but I remember United mans, they were like, oh, yo, like we got your Lenny Yoro. We snapped him up from Madrid when they wanted him. And low-key, Madrid ended up getting a better player than Lenny Yoro, bro, you know? It was written in the stars, fam. It was written in the stars. For cheaper as well, I think. No, or kind of, I think same price or cheaper.
Similar price, I think, yeah.
Maybe we would have seen a different Lenny Euro if he didn't go to United, though. Because
that is true, yeah.
That guy's a baller.
It's the club, bro. It's never the players that unite. It's always the club.
Yeah, I'm also surprised any of the Serie A mans didn't have Housen because
Juve and Roma.
Yeah, that's when he came up.
I just had to put like Bremer over Huijsen because consistency wise. But I think Huijsen, if we do this list like next like a year from now or like 2 years from now, I think he'll be there.
We're gonna continue to number 9. This player ended up with 18 points, so 2 points over Dean, and that player is none other than Ronald Araujo. Okay, I will let you know who had Araujo in their list. So,
crazy, bro.
Amirali had him in at 8. Parham had him in at 5. Parsa did not have him. Jasser did not have him. Evie did not have him. Naeem did not have him. Greg did not have him. Eris did not have him. I had him in at number 2. My boy.
Okay, but I get crucified when I say Marquinhos. He's responsible for your Champions League crash outs, and he's number 2. But I say Marquinhos, and Marquinhos is the reason why you guys are at the Champions League. What kind of double standards is this?
Besides the PSG thing, he's not responsible for our crash outs, bro. I don't want to hear the
Inter
thing.
No.
It wasn't the best defending, but that wasn't solely on one person, bro. Mans are blowing that out of proportion. It's not his fault that we can't hold the ball the last 2 minutes of the game, bro. How's that his fault?
His fault the center back got in front of him like a striker and put that in the back of the net, is it not?
Yeah, well, regardless, though, it's not his fault that Gerard Martin goes and falls down against the Dumfries, which was okay a foul. But anyways, you know what I mean? But Ronald Araujo, bro, I still think he is one of the best center backs in the world. For me, it's a mindset thing right now. I think he's struggling ever since that PSG thing. I do recognize that, for example, his passing isn't the best by any means necessary. If I'm talking about, I think he's one of the best in terms of defense. His recovery pace is next to none. Had some crucial, goal line clearances as well. And honestly, bro, he's just a beast. He's a physical specimen, bro. He's very, very good. I remember that season that we won La Liga with Xavi, for example. In my opinion, he was the best center back in the world that season, bro. I hope that he is able to regain that form. But if anyone wants to roast him, they can.
Bro, no, not roast. I was gonna say, bro, you guys just gotta hire a mental health counselor for him, bro, just to get his mentality back in shape. I feel like after that crash out against us, with what was the Barcola tackle that gave him the red card?
That was a whole drama thing though, bro. Because even Gundogan came out in the press conference and he was like, "Yo, you can't be doing shit like that."
Yeah, but that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Getting called out like that, I feel like that has a mental toll on a player. So
yeah, I'm excited to see him. Even if he does leave Barca, bro, I think he's gonna be a very, very valuable center back for whoever gets him. So we are going to continue with number 8. This player ended up with 20 points, so 2 points above Araujo, and that player is none other than Antonio Rudiger. I did not have him. Eris did not have him. Greg did not have him. Naeem had him in at 3. Amirali had him in at 5. Parham did not have him. Parsa did not have him. Jasser had him in at 6. Evie also had him in at 6.
Dude, I'm just looking back to the Champions League runs that Madrid had. Again, he was a mainstay along with Militao a couple of years ago. Bit of a nuthead, which Dean Huijsen will find out soon. But no, just going off the past couple, 4 or 5 seasons, Rudiger has been very consistent. He's been very solid. Obviously got the move from won the Champions League with Chelsea. He was very good in that run too. Won the run to Real Madrid and then won another Champions League with them. So just based off those, I had to have him. And I think he won a La Liga too. I think he's the best German center back right now. I think he's the best. His competitors are what, Jonathan Tah and.
I was gonna say that's not really saying much because the German center backs right now are not what they used to be.
Yeah, no, I agree. But no, I did number 3 just because, he won a Champions League, won a La Liga, won a Champions League with Chelsea too, just based off those.
Me personally, I'll be honest with you, bro. I never rated Rudiger. I'll be honest with you. I don't think he's even top 3 CBs at Madrid, in my opinion.
That's tough.
I don't like
CBs at Madrid.
So Hausen, Alaba, Eder Militao in that
Asensio,
order for me.
Yeah.
Asensio, I don't even want to talk about that brother. That brother is overrated as fuck, honestly. That brother is nowhere near this discussion that we're having right now, bro.
I wonder if he's in the top 10 list. I do wonder that.
I'll tell you right now, no, bro. I'll spoil that for anyone right now. No, he's not in that. We're going to continue, okay? So we are going to continue with a player that ended up in 7th. So this player ended up with 22 points, so 2 points above Rudiger. Everyone bar 2 people did have this player in their list. One of those people is here with us right now. And that person is Eris. I will let you know right now. Eris is the only one that did not have this brother. That player is none other than the best youngster in the world, Pau Cubarsí. I had Cubarsí in at 6. Eris did not have him. Greg had him in at 9. Naeem had him in at 7. Amirali did not have him. Parham had him in at 8. Parsa had him in at 10. Jasser had him in at 7. Evie had him in at 8. In my opinion, he is the best young center back in the world as of right now. Most experienced as well. Breakthrough at a club like Barca, playing in UCL games at 16 years of age, continuing now when he's 18 as well. Great defender, doesn't easily get bodied or anything like that. Probably one of the best passers in terms of center backs. He's very, very intelligent as well. He's going to be a Barca legend in my opinion. Probably one of the best center backs of this generation. The way that he started, he was pocketing Osimhen when he was like 17, bro, in the UCL. You know what I mean? So
I don't know, bro. I just don't buy the Barca PR that much. If I'm being honest. I don't know, bro. The PR is strong, but nothing against him. Obviously, I just when I was looking at it, I just didn't think he fit in my list. When I was looking at quality, I'm like, all right, I need to see a little bit more of him to kind of what's the word? To justify. Sorry, there we go. To justify putting him on the list. Hey, who knows? Next season when we do this, if we do this again, he might make my top 10. I don't know.
Crazy, bro. How'd you have Ndika ahead of him, bro?
Nah,
French bias, eh?
French
bias, eh?
Nah, but no, I've also watched a lot more of him at Roma, so I feel like I have a better knowledge of that. With Cubarsí, it's mainly the UCL and either the Clasico or against Atleti, one of the 2 big games.
Yeah, no, he's my favorite defender, I would say, of Barcelona. The fact he came in so young, so composed. He just kind of came in and made that position his own. I thought he was very good this season when Hansi Flick won the treble, or not the treble, sorry. When he won the domestic treble, right? And I really do rate him over Dean Huijsen. I think those two, him and Huijsen, are going to be, I've said this before, they're going to be the starting center backs, I hope, for Spain. If the Spain manager, whoever it is, can look into that. So Huijsen and Cubarsí, but I think Cubarsí just done it longer than Huijsen has. If he keeps it up without no injuries, he's just going to become one of the better Barca defenders of his generation. I think he's very, very good.
I mainly added Cubarsí because of potential, because he's a young guy. I don't think he necessarily makes my top 10 right now, in terms of current quality. I could definitely see him being one of the better center backs in the world. Unlike Naeem, I don't rate him over Huijsen. I think Huijsen is the better of the 2, but they're both very good center backs. Spain's really lucky to have that defense in the future.
We're going to continue. Yeah, so 6th place. Ended up with 23 points, so 1 point above Cubarsí, okay? That player is none other than Eris' own Marquinhos.
Damn, that's high. Don't get me wrong, I love the brother, but I feel like that's high.
I did not have him in my list. Eris had him in at 10. Greg did not have him. Naeem had him in at 5. Amirali did not have him. Parham did not have him. Parsa had him in at 5. Jasser had him in at 5. Evie had him in at 7. So Naeem, Parsa, and Jasser had him the highest at 5th.
Yeah, just pure consistency from Marquinhos, man. He kind of came onto the scene with Roma. I really liked what I saw of him at Serie A. Obviously, he went to move to PSG. Just pure consistency that Marquinhos has shown us, and he's deserved to win the Champions League after a couple of years with Paris Saint-Germain. He's stayed injury free, and he's been in that team for so long. That's hard to do, and I think he's been so good over the years. So I had to have him number 5.
If we were doing this list back in 2020, before that Thiago Silva Marquinhos partnership partnership ended, that he would have been top 5 easily. Because we're doing it now, I have to dock him points because of, like I said, that roller coaster of like different partners here and there until we finally got like the Pacho in there to like build that solid defensive line. He was a great defender. Still, I think he is a great defender. I don't think he's top 5 worthy anymore. Don't get me wrong, I'm happy that people have him in their list, but I feel like 6 is, even for me, too high. I feel like 8 to 10 currently, definitely think he is, because he's a great player, but top 6 a little too much.
Yeah, I didn't have him. I never really rated Marquinhos that much, to be honest, but I can see why some people had him.
I agree with that, but yeah, I never really rated him that highly. I always thought Thiago Silva had to hold his hand, kind of. So, is he a PSG legend?
Yes, he is.
Definitely.
Bro, what do you mean? Like,
Gotta be.
our captain for the Champions League win,
bigger legend than Thiago Silva?
That's a cool one.
That's tough. Don't
That's
get
a
me
good
wrong.
one.
I know that's tough. I love Thiago too much to say yes. I don't think so.
All right, boys, we're going to continue. We're entering our top 5. This is a pretty decent jump. I would say this is like a big jump compared to the other ones where it was like 2-pointers. So, number 5 ended up with 39 points. So, that is an extra 16 points above Marquinhos, okay? That player is Ruben Dias. Eris had him in at 8. Greg had him in at 5. Naeem had him in at 6. Amirali had him in at 3. Parham had him in at 6. Parsa had him in at 7. Jasser had him in at 9. Evie had him in at 5. I did not have Ruben Dias in my list. Good defender, I would say. I always thought that he was a tad overrated, though, in my opinion. Not the best on the ball, and I've seen him have some blunders in terms of defense as well. Like, he did have that insane season. I think it was the first season that he came into City where he carried them. I'll be honest with you. He's been injury plagued a little bit as well. And also, he's had some big mistakes, bro. I remember, we're Albanians. I remember that mistake against Broja, bro, that he gave away the pen against Chelsea. I'm pretty sure it was last season, I think, or the season before. Bar that one season where he was insane. Other than that, he's been very inconsistent for me. So
I agree with you, actually. I think he's a bit overrated, and I don't know why I had him that high.
Man's like looking at his list.
this guy was taking a shit. This guy was taking a shit when he did his list as well.
I actually was. That's the funny part. I swear to God, I was.
Oh my God.
But man, it was I don't know. I guess from all the ratings that he does get from people, and that monster season that you talked about. But yeah, I do think he's overrated too, man. I think he has a lot of blunders in him, and he's really rash. But he's still City's best center back, and it's something. City's one of the better defensive teams in the world.
I feel like he suffers from that, the success he had in that first season. That was such an insane season that now anything not even remotely close, it just looks completely subpar. I don't think he's better, obviously, than the people that we have above him. But also you gotta pay respects, bro. Listen, I'm gonna take one from Gensel, bro. That's a good looking dude, bro.
I was gonna say that, bro.
And bro, he I don't know if he still is, but he was piping Maya Jama at some point.
No, they're dating right now.
Yeah,
They're officially
I'm jealous.
dating.
Is he?
It's wild. Yeah,
He's winning life, bro.
wild.
I'm sorry, I can't.
He's
That's a
cooking.
W.
Yeah.
Naeem, anything you wanna say?
He's dating Maya Jama.
That's it.
He made the list just for that, bro. Just for
Nothing
that.
needed, bro. Don't say anything else. Just say that. You're done with him. Ruben Dias. Let's continue, boys, then. That's it. That's all we need to know about Ruben Dias. All right, so we're going to continue with number 4, okay, boys? Yeah, this is a big jump as well. Number 4 ended up with 19 points above Dias, so 58 points in total. That player is Gabriel ended up in 4th. This is the first player I believe that all of us had. So I had him in at 5. Eris had him in at 7. Greg had him in at 2. Naeem had him in at 9. Amirali had him in at 4. Parham had him in at 4. Parsa had him in at 4. Jasser had him in at 2. Evie had him in at 4.
Can't make this list and not have Gabriel.
Yeah.
That's just my thinking, but I think I've watched him the least out of all the center backs I have above him. Again, I'd be surprised to have anyone not have I'd be surprised if anyone doesn't have him in the top 10 center back list. Obviously, he made the move from Lille to Arsenal, and I think he is the biggest aerial threat out of all the center backs in the world. Just the amount of headers that he scored throughout the season is wild to me. But there's no particular reason why I had him that low. I just watched him the least, if anything. Again, no points docked off Gabriel. I think he's fantastic.
That's my center back, bro. That's my captain. There's no Odegaard, bro. That's my captain. But yeah, bro, I love Gabriel. He's a physical beast. He was Arsenal's best center back this year, even though we know who's the better of the two. A couple of things that he had that needed to improve in his game. In the past, he's done it really well. His passing ability, he used to be really shocking at that, but he's been really good the last 2-3 years, and decision making. Like he used to make a lot of rash decisions. Now he's very, very composed. And yeah, bro, he just has everything you need in a center back. So yeah, that's what Naeem said. The goals, like he outscores like some strikers. You know, he outscored Hoyland this year and stuff like that. You know,
Crazy,
He
bro.
was at a Hoyland, bro. I could outscore Hoyland. Let's be real here.
you know what, bro?
You could outscore him while taking a shit as well, bro.
Dude, I was gonna say, yeah, there you go, bro.
Hoyland's dog shit, bro. Crazy. But Eris, you had him relatively lowish, I guess,
no,
as
looking
well,
at my
7.
list now, I feel like I probably should swap him and Ta, because I had Ta in 5th. Again, I was just, trying to get my shouts in there, especially for like players that I've watched a lot more. 7th isn't me saying like, oh, I don't think he's good enough. I feel like I was just looking at my players and thinking like, all right, where do these, like, how much have I seen of them? What do I think of their quality? What do I think of their abilities? Again, a solid defender. Look, he's a Ligue 1 boy. Like I always joke in the chat, I'm like, bro, I don't know why Arsenal mans are dogging Ligue 1. We're the reason you guys are relevant.
Damn, that's crazy. I don't know.
Both your center backs came from Ligue 1.
Right.
Without our center backs, you guys would be having Per Mertesacker and Laurent Koscielny, right? And you guys would be fighting for top fours
Crazy.
without Ligue 1. So let's be real.
Hey, yo, respect Koscielny as well. Koscielny wasn't a bum, bro.
Heritage.
That's what I mean.
No, that's
even in the past, bro, with the Henrys, with the Vieiras, with the Petits and all that. Like, yeah, so like that's like again, that's why I love it when the Arsenal mans in our chat like dog Ligue 1, and I'm like, I don't know, bro. Without Ligue 1 talents, who knows what might happen?
Yeah, no, I know why you guys docked him points though. It's because of the hair transplant, bro.
Yeah.
For sure, bro. For sure, it's the hair transplant, bro.
Bro, he should have just gone bald, bro. It's better for heading, because you know what I mean. Like you have a proper surface.
Yeah,
so.
clean. Nah, bro, I can't lie, bro. I can't unseen that before pick, before and after the before one. Can't lie, bro. He loses aura points on that alone. Really like him. Like Greg said in the beginning, he did make some rash decisions. I think he's ironed that out now. A goal threat, big, decent pace as well. Doesn't get bullied. Good on the ball, I would say overall as well. There was a point in time where it kind of felt like he needed Saliba to like hold his hand a bit, but I think that isn't necessarily the case anymore. I feel like they kind of like help each other out in terms of balancing each other out overall. Probably everything you want in a center back, honestly. Yep, we're officially entering our podium. You probably know who the top 3 are. But that being said,
Maguire, let's go.
Johnny Evans and
I forgot him.
who else? Lindelof.
I swear to God, I would have put Maguire over Konate.
Crazy. Alrighty. But so 3rd spot. Okay. This player ended up with 73 points. So that is 15 points above Gabriel. And that player is none other than Alessandro Bastoni. Everyone had Bastoni in their list. No surprise at all. I had him in at 4. Ayers had him in at 3. Greg had him in at 3. Naeem had him in at 1. Amirali had him in at 7. Dang. Parham had him in at 3. Parsa had him in at 1. Jasser had him in at 3. Evie had him in at 1 as well. So the 2 Serie A boys had Bastoni as the best CB in the world.
I think I know why Emirali had him at 7. It might be that one-off game against the Paris Saint-Germain in the final. But leading up to that, I thought he was excellent, like in the group stages and then round of 16. I really do hate the fact that Inter have someone as good as Bastoni. I think the thing I always go back to is like I never seen a center back he could fit into a Pep Guardiola, like a La Masia crafted midfield with the ability he has kind of on the ball. It's ridiculous. Like his ability on the ball is just insane. I've never seen a center back have that much composure, that much dribbling ability. He's just been a mainstay in that Inter defense, and we've mentioned him a couple of times on this pod before. He's just always in and around like that best defender category. Defending wise, like he just ticks like all the boxes. Like he'll do all the the classics or the standard center back duties as well. But then he just adds on to that whole new layer of like I don't know, talk about assists or dribbling or passing. Like he's a very good ball playing center back too. I think it's ridiculous how good he is. Best center back in the world.
I haven't made it a secret this past year. Every episode we've done, like when it's been center back or like drafts, he's one of my favorite center backs to see. One of my 2 favorite Italian players, along with Barella. Yeah, with Amirali putting him at 7th, I feel like that's very reactionary. Like a one-off game against the best team in the world. Like I don't know, bro.
No, but I feel like he doesn't watch a lot of Serie A as well.
That is fair. Yeah, again, same thing. Like I said with the whole Pacho thing, with like I don't blame people because like they don't watch Liga and they don't know how good he is. That's fair. Everything that Naeem said, he's insane on the ball, even off the ball. Like I was watching like I can't remember what game it was where he's like the clip of like he's playing with a wing back and then like he knows how to like make runs into midfield, get the ball, and then launch it back up forward. It's like he's not just a center back. He can play in that like a little bit more progressive role, like as a CDM or something like that. It sucks that he's on like that Inter squad because imagine if he was like Naeem said, imagine him in like a Pep system or like just imagine, this is gonna sound dumb, but like you know what I mean, imagine him at like a Prem club, like imagine him like doing this. I feel like he'd do well.
I just really like that, like his on the ball ability. Like he's probably the best ball playing center back in the world. Inter had a crazy defensive record too. He's the main guy there. You know, I don't watch him too much, but from everything I've seen, I like he's obviously a top 3 defender in the world.
Everything that you guys said, great on the ball, but also defensively very, very good. Honestly, can slot into any system most likely and do a thing. Bastoni to Barca 2026, we move. You know,
God damn, nah.
that
Oh,
campaign-
that's another thing I want.
that campaign
to
starts.
Now another reason why I love Bastoni, bro, is if you remember the Inter Barca game back in like the group stage in 2022 or 2023 when he just drags Gavi. I love that pick, bro, because you guys know I hate Gavi. I love him dragging him to the ground.
Of course, bro. You hate good players, bro. We know that.
Good
It's okay.
please.
It's okay, bro.
I
It's
said,
okay.
hey,
It's okay, bro.
remember
It's okay.
I said it like 3 or 4 years it was gonna be Gavi to like Valencia. It was gonna be like the high. And what was it? Getafe were coming in for him. Good players, yeah.
When the hell was that, bro?
Was it
Geta-
like Getafe?
Getafe never came. Bro, that was a fucking parody account, bro.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I don't care. Gavi is not it, bro. Gavi is not it. Nah, but that pick, I love that pick, bro.
Yeah.
Dragging him.
We're going to continue though, boys, okay? We're going to go to second spot. This player ended up with 75 points, so 2 points above Bastoni. I will let you know who that player is right now. Everyone had this player in there, and that player is none other than Saliba. Saliba ended up
Damn, bro. That's some bullshit, man.
Despite Greg's attempt to rig, he ended him in that too. But I'll let you know where we had Saliba, okay? So
Really should have attempted to rig.
so Eris had Saliba in at 2. Greg had Saliba in at 1. I had Saliba in at 3. Naeem had Saliba in at 4. Amirali had him in at 2. Parham had him in at 2. Parsa had him in at 3. Jasser had him in at 4. Evie had him in at 3.
Bro, that is the best center back in the world, man. Saliba has everything you need from a center back. The pace, the composure, the ability to play the ball, the physical presence. He has an aura when he plays, bro. Like, it's like, I don't know. He's just different. He's built different, bro. Like, every time he plays Mbappe, he's stopped Mbappe. It's not an easy task, you know. I just can't glaze this boy enough, bro. This is the best center back in the world.
Bro, how can he be number 1 with the shit that he records in the locker rooms, bro? Come on now.
Yeah.
Oh, bro.
Crazy, bro.
You know what?
Crazy.
It is
Crazy,
what it is, bro. It is what it is.
I said it is what it is, bro. That's crazy, bro. As long as he's number 1, he can do whatever he wants, basically.
Yeah,
That's what he said.
Honestly, bro, he gets the pass. He gets the pass, bro.
Crazy, bro. Crazy.
Yeah, honestly, between him and my number 1, like they're in my opinion interchangeable, but I went with the experience and just kind of you know the history of like the past X amount of seasons versus like, you know, the 3 or 4 good seasons that we've seen and like the bit that I've seen in Liga and of Saliba. In a year's time, we do this list again, easily could be number 1. There's no arguments there. He's quick on the ball. He can make those interceptions. He, like as Greg pointed, like he stopped Mbappe, which is not an easy thing to do. Also a French boy, you know, got to support the French boys. And I think that partnership with Gabriel, that's a deadly duo for the Prem.
I think it's like for the Premier League center backs, I think like there's top 2 and obviously the other one we're gonna get to. But I think Saliba is not a crazy shout for the like if someone told me, come up to me and said Saliba's my center back, like that is not a crazy shout at all. Definitely up there, and he will be if he stays injury free. I think he's on the trajectory to be you know, France and all timer if anything.
Bro, solid center back. Solid. One of my favorite center backs, if I'll be honest with you. One of the most complete center backs in my opinion as well. Can do a little bit of everything. Can score once in a while as well. Defends, doesn't get bullied or anything like that. Pretty quick as well, bro. Like, positioning is good. Sometimes not the best. I've seen him be out of position.
There's a few blunders
sometimes.
he's had.
Yeah, like this season he has made a couple of mistakes here and there. I wouldn't say it was his best season this season, but like last season, I think he was outstanding basically. Or when was it? The season that he was injured and then you guys went to shit. But then again, your CB depth was holding. No,
It's happened twice to us.
Yeah, still relatively young as well, so continue to grow, you know. But anyways, boys, we're gonna continue. Okay, number one, honestly, we probably know who it is.
Yeah.
He's probably been, in a lot of people's opinion, the best center back in the world for a good few seasons now. He ended up with 84 points, so 9 points over Saliba. It is none other than 9 points over Saliba.
Close.
It is none other. It is none other than Mr. Aura himself, Virgil van Dijk, ended up in number one as the best center back in the world, according to us. I had him in at 1. Eris had him in at 1. Greg had him in at 4. Naeem had him in at 2. Amrali had him in at 1. Parham had him in at 1. Parsa had him in at 2. Jasser had him in at 1. Evie had him in at 2. So the only person that didn't have him in his top 2 was Greg, who had him in at 4. Greg, why'd you try and rig the system? Why was he number 4 for you?
Bro, I was actually thinking I wanted to rig it. I was thinking let's just not have him on my list at all.
That's crazy.
But I was like,
Mohamed Salah all over again.
Yeah, bro. you paved the pathway.
Crazy, bro. I walked so you could run, fam.
Yeah, bro. I had him in at 4 only because the other 3, they're all like relatively younger center backs. They're more the future. Van Dijk obviously was the best center back in the world. Maybe still is. Like I don't disagree with that. Like most people, I guess, would say Van Dijk. I would say Saliba, but the only reason I didn't have him in my top 3 basically is because I kind of wanted to just look at like center backs who will still be there in the future in the top 3. You know what I mean?
Was it because of that Ice Spice meme where he's twerking?
No, but bro, that you know what? Van Dijk gets the shit for that meme, but that's not Van Dijk, bro. That's Joe Gomez or something.
I know, yeah, I know. It's not even
That's
him.
hilarious. That's hilarious how everyone made it Van Dijk.
Dude, if Bastoni wasn't doing his thing, if he wasn't, and if I didn't watch more Bastoni, Virgil van Dijk would easily my numero uno. Pure consistency for me. Just like over the years, he's kind of developing this monster of a center back. You know, the past 7-8 years, whatever you have it. You know, won Champions League, won a couple of titles, the COVID title as well. I know Jossier hasn't counted. That's the first thing he says is like, yeah, I don't count this Liverpool title. He's obviously like the kind of the first name that you think of when you think of like top class defenders. Liverpool man's kind of take it too far though. They say he's better than Maldini. He's not better than Maldini.
That's crazy. Yeah,
No, you guys, you Liverpool fans, anyone watching this, you guys take it too far. That's why our points have to be docked for that. He's not better than Maldini. All right, he's very, very good though. I'll just leave it at that.
We've seen him do it. I'm going to say for Liverpool. I'm not going to talk about the Celtic and all that, but like for Liverpool since, what was it, 17, 18, right? He's been class, been a rock in their defense. I want to say can't put a foot wrong, but obviously, yes, he can once in a while, but like it's not as frequent as like some other players on our list. Like, yes, he can make a mistake here or there, which makes sense. Like, no center back's ever going to be perfect. No one's going to be 100% faultless for like their entire career. But yeah, he's absolutely class. He's an aerial threat as well as he's massive, as he's strong as well, so he can body people off the ball pretty easily. So it has to be number 1.
Been number 1 for a while now, in my opinion. Impeccable, bro. Completely transformed that Liverpool backline. We forgot to mention he's been doing it with a bunch of different partners as well, as like Konate, Matip, Kwanzaa at points, like Nat Phillips. I don't even know, bro. Like this brother was doing it. Gomez as well. This guy was doing it with everyone, bro, and he's been impeccable. You were mentioning about Saliba defending Mbappe. VVD was doing that as well. In my opinion, best Premier League CB of all time. In my opinion, with what I've seen, the most complete center back as well.
Dude, like on that note, like you watch like the player interviews of any attacker, you know, the TikToks, the reels, like, and this is like, it's like a common theme I've seen on my feed. It's like all the attackers, like they ask them, who's the toughest opponent you played? And they all say like, oh, Virgil van Dijk. Like I just couldn't get past them.
Jockey Merchant.
What? Jockey Merchant? Crazy.
He
bro.
holds L2, bro. Just backs up.
Crazy. There was that stat, remember, that dribble pass? He had a big dribble pass in like, I can't even remember how long, bro.
You can get dribble pass if you just jockey.
Yeah, I seen that. That's what everyone was saying, bro. Man say that he smells good as well. Who was it? There was one player. Yeah, there was one player. The Norwich guy, bro. What? Troy Deeney.
No,
Yeah, maybe.
Watford.
Troy Deeney
Yeah,
likes
Watford.
the app.
Yeah, he was like, yo, this guy smells like he's so good as well, bro. Like, VVD. He was like describing him. He's like the best defender I played against. Tall, fast. He smells so good as well, bro.
That's
you
crazy,
know?
bro.
Yeah,
After a
he has a crush
90-minute
on him.
game, sweating, and he's
Yeah.
smelling good.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
Good
The
for him,
aura, bro. The aura, bro. Yo, impeccable
That's
hair
crazy.
as well, bro. Like, he's like 34 or whatever he is, and the hair is still hairing.
Yeah.
You know, like, it is what it is,
Troy
bro.
Deeney was the fuck, bro.
Crazy. Crazy, man. Crazy. There you guys have it. That was our top 10 center backs in the world. Do want to reiterate, it is based off of mostly off quality, but a little bit of history if you want there as well. Like we said, Virgil van Dijk, according to us, is the number one center back in the world. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to be notified for everything that we release. That being said, if you want to take a look at the previous ones that we have been doing, the top 10 list, you can take a look at them as well. Yeah, from everyone, Footy Gents, we will see you guys on the next episode. Until then, take it easy.